All right, guys, we're live. I have a special guest here. It's ET Phone Home. How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you? Good to be here.
Good. See you. Excited for tonight. We got some new players we get to see. Um, Special ones. Special to you, especially. Right? So I'm really excited to see what you've been teaching these people, including this unstable one or instability one.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be good to see. This will be her first tournament match ever. So I've been trying to, make sure she knows there's no pressure.
Yeah, yeah, it's a casual
Obviously,
league.
yeah. As I told her, nobody's expecting a Maru or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it should be just good, clean fun.
Yeah, we got on this league, for those that don't know, this will be on YouTube VOD too, so there'll be some random people going in there and like, what is this? But FSL is really a super casual league, right? It started out as a family StarCraft league, and then with F, you can do all kinds of things with F, like fun, family, friends, right? So whatever you want to use the F in FSL for, that's basically what we are. Family-friendly terms, by the way. Uh, so so for this, our players range in ages from as young as 7 and as old as 49. One of the uncle's friends playing in this. So it's pretty diverse group. But we sorted them out into different divisions, right? Or so that way it's fair and it's all on skill, not ages. Because we all know the young ones can play and some older ones can play. So you just kind of mix them up. So what we have tonight, we're gonna start off with Code B. That first matchup, one of them, the first one there, Mrs. Uber XL. She is totally brand new, as in bronze, like just started a couple of weeks ago. However, I was watching her games. This is her second game. She actually knows the builds and everything just looks sharp. So I was like, I think she's been watching a lot of StarCraft.
That's cool to see. Good to see some new blood, and it's not too often you get to experience that nowadays.
Yeah. Now, the opponent was totally brand new last season. So now he's a few months in, but he's still in Code B, of course. He hasn't really graduated just yet. But, so he has more experience. However, I don't think that means he's going to win because Mrs. Uber XL's builds look really sharp, man. I mean, they look really on point and correct from my point of view, right? I'm like, not a lot of cannons everywhere, really just making what she needs to make. So that's the first match, and actually they started doing the vetoes, and I'm showing it on screen now. It's ready to go, and we have else casted. Let's make sure that they're set. I'll drag up our casters. Let's bring in Regret. He's our admin tonight. And our caster for game 1, I think. Let's see if that's still going on. So, Regret. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All
Hello.
right. You and Very Cool from last season still casting or what?
Right. We were planning to cast the 2v2, but it appears that we're doing the 1v1 first.
Oh, you're doing the 2v2. Okay. Well, we could do either way. We're doing the 2v2. It's really hectic, so you can certainly do that, and then we can lead off with ET Phone Home for game 1. So no worries, we can do that. We can do that. Cool. So that will give you time to get ready for the 2v2 because we're gonna start with Code B. So, I'll be joining the main caster ET Phone Home for game 1, but he'll be doing the majority of the announcing and casting and all that. I may make a funny comment here or there because I'm excited to see these Bronze League players, right? And thanks for the raid, by the way, SC2 Artist from Team Envy in Korea. Appreciate the raid there. So I think the guys are ready. I'm just waiting for Regret here to add to. Let's see, are they on? Yeah, they're on. Let's bring him to the stream. Let's bring him here so we can interview the players. Sure, ET Phone Home has some questions. Being so far removed from totally brand new, right? The things we take for granted.
Right. So yeah, I guess my main question was so obviously, I guess I'll just call you Uber. KJ was telling me you just started, but you're looking pretty sharp already. Have you been watching a lot of VODs and things like that? What have you been doing to try and get immersed in the game?
I just started doing the tutorials, learning that way.
Awesome. Oh, the in-game tutorials. Nice. Okay. And then I guess we said Infinity is a returning player, but was brand new in last season. Do you think your experience in the previous season with tournaments is going to give you an edge in this series?
No, not at all. They got Scion back there. Not at all. I saw that last battle, and I was just like, oh, she is not really missing anything, almost. Looking as fast as me.
Nice.
He's way over there. He's way over there.
I was
Oh.
super happy to see that he was like, hey, can I guess, host this game? I was like, oh, he won't be in her ear during the fight. Thank goodness.
Well, yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so that's fun and all, but guess what? That's not allowed. So Cyan knows that you can't coach. In between games, you can coach, but not during the games. That's for sure, right? So, it'll be fun to see you guys play for sure. And actually, Infinity goes by Lucky Tiger. That's his intro. This is his Discord name. So we'll be using that for he has a special intro from last year, and we also have Mrs. Uber XL's intro all set up and ready to go. So we're good there. You guys have selected the maps. Any final questions, ET?
Oh yeah. So as a Grandmaster player, most of the time my map selections have little to do with anything except what I'm feeling like. So is there any particular reasons for the vetoes you guys chose?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I got sick and tired of playing on that new one. I realized that little small one. That's about it. I missed one of the other maps that was on there, but I can't name it.
Let's show the maps real quick. Let's zoom in on that. It's gonna be Oxide for game 1, Lightshade for game 2, and Romanticide for game 3 if necessary. So let's get these guys on they're loading up the maps now, so
Know the difference yet, so they all look the same to me.
Yeah.
So, actually, before that, can we get both of the players in the lobby so that we can get ready to start?
yeah, you guys need
Yeah.
to hop on.
Yeah, if you'll accept the invite.
Yeah, just hop on to the FSL channels. Oh, there, I see you guys.
Hold on. Let's see. Am I not in the right spot? Oh, bam. Okay, there we go.
Hey, can you help me? Or is it that right there? Oh.
Alright, raise up, please.
There it is.
Right, so they're finally loaded in. See, you can tell they're really brand new. They're not even sure which buttons to press to load into what part of the game, right?
Yeah, just always remember it's Alt F4 to accept a lobby invite.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so
Don't hit Alt F4.
I think we are pretty all set here.
Oh, snap. No, we're not. Okay,
Oh.
there we go.
Hang tight,
All right.
guys. We're still loading up. Sure that they are set.
Dang, y'all were about to let me start as Terran.
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want that.
I've been interested to work with them, but they seem too difficult half the time.
It is.
Are the players ready? We can start.
All right, we're gonna get started. We're gonna mute and deafen them, and we'll turn off our cameras. Obviously, we're just gonna highlight their reactions. So, and take it away.
All right. Well, this is going to be exciting. I think this will have been, and obviously this is no shade to the players, but the lowest level game I've ever cast, which is going to be pretty exciting. The last time I had an experience like this was back when me and my siblings first got Wings of Liberty, and we'd been playing for a little while, and we decided we should have my mom 1v1 my dad with no prior experience in the game. And that was one of the most fun games to watch of my StarCraft career. So I'm looking forward to this.
That's awesome. That's really great. You never know what you're gonna see. Guys, welcome. This is
FSL Season 4.
Alrighty, well, in the bottom left-hand side, we have...
This is Uber XL.
And in the upper right, we do see a wall off for Lucky Tiger. Uber X not bothering with that quite yet. Second pylon. Ooh, and we see a forge out of Lucky Tiger. Might be a little bit of cannons. It might just be defensive as well at this level a lot of times. You do see some more defensive cannons, not necessarily purely for aggression, although we could still see that as well. No probe going across the map, though, so perhaps not. Double gateway coming down for Miss Uber X. So we are just slowly building up. Obviously, it'll take a little bit to get those units out and start seeing some plays. I'm not really going to make any guesses as to what builds you're going to see, because obviously that's not something they particularly worry about quite yet. They're just going to be trying to build units in general and just kind of have their macro hit correctly. We do see some good timings on the Cyber Core out of Lucky Tiger. Uber X, I imagine we'll see you dropping that very soon once their gateways finish up as well. And taking gases. I am curious to see what compositions we'll run into, and it looks like it is defensive cannons after all. Fair enough in PvP. I don't necessarily blame them for that at all. And will we see a Cyber Core? Probably sometime soon.
Yeah,
Zealot first.
The last time I saw them play, she made a lot of zealots in the beginning for safety. So,
okay,
you know.
All right, so we might see a few zealots. I do wonder if we'll see expansions. How many expansions we'll see? It could be just one base the entire time. Although it looks like Lucky Tiger looking to take an expo. This is Uber X, obviously floating enough too, but whether or not she chooses to is another question. Does drop that Cyber Core now. We actually see Warp Gate at a pretty good timing for Lucky Tiger right now. No tech building just yet, although it looks like he's posturing to take one. This is Uber XL. Has the initial zealots out now. Probably going to make some more here shortly. Making another pylon. Doesn't want to get supply blocked. It's pretty good. I feel like at this level, just not being supply blocked, even if maybe you make one or two too many pylons at times, is better than what I see a lot of the time from like even like platinum and gold players. Is they're supply blocked they basically their timer for when they want to build a pylon is when their units stop producing. So that's actually a pretty good habit she's got already, I would say.
But not only that, look at her worker count, man. She's ahead.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Hit that saturation right off the bat. Obviously, Lucky Tiger does have the faster expansion, but there we do see one coming down as well. And I think that's actually pretty cool as well. I feel like it wasn't necessarily just forgetting to take the expo, but she has these mental, like, once I hit max saturation, I should take it, because it seems like right at 23 workers is when she decided to expand. Which is a pretty good mentality to have once your current base fills up on workers, to add on another one. That's a good habit to be getting into. We do see shield batteries and cannons coming up for Lucky Tiger, playing it very safe. And he's adding on his second gateway and third one now as well coming down. Did I see a Twilight for him? I did. Okay, so he does have a Twilight Council. And it's going to be Charge.
Yeah, good spell.
Yeah, Charge is, I would say, the upgrade that provides the most value for the least additional micro in the game, possibly.
Yes.
Except, I guess Ling speed is pretty good as well. But, yeah, very good upgrade to be getting. I do approve of that. I think, obviously, like Blink and things like that at this level, it's good, I think, to go for Charge, because you recognize that, you're not, the fastest player in the world. And it's better to just go for those things that are going to get you some guaranteed value. Double Stargate, though, dropping. Ooh. Obviously, air units pretty good against Zealots. Triple Stargate dropping.
So, let me tell you something about that, just because of my previous game knowledge. When she played the last time, it was against the Zerg. She made several air units, Phoenix, Oracle, etc. She didn't necessarily know how to use those units. But the Void Ray, as you know, you don't have to kind of press anything. It just kind of shoots those lasers. So, I expect her to go mass Void Rays.
Yeah, I would think so. Although, man, that's a lot of Zealots, and Charge actually finishing up pretty snappily. I think he's been chronoing that pretty consistently. That
Oh,
was
you're
a
right.
fast Charge research. And yeah, coming in now. It is an even unit count, but with Charge, might see an advantage go to Lucky Tiger, although no reaction quite yet out of red. Okay, I do like this. Fighting on the ramp with the Stalkers is going to provide a good fight. It does lose some workers there, but with that triple Stargate, you know, she's going to have a tech advantage or she can just survive here. And this also brings up another thing I've seen, which is at the lower like halves of the leagues, people have one of two things. They either build way too little production or way too much. So it's either like one gateway
Yeah.
with 3,000 minerals, or it's 8 Stargates on 20 probes. So it seems like they're both building. I think building too many is better than too little, and they both seem to be tending towards that. So that's pretty good to see as well.
Indeed.
Although I think Lucky Tiger is actually doing a pretty good job of keeping it fairly balanced with his economy. I think Miss Super X is probably a little bit heavily leaning towards the production, but I think that's completely fine, especially at this level. Unfortunately, some probes not rallying at the natural base quite yet for her. So we'll see how long they're on their coffee break. Void Rays are out now, so Charge Lot's not going to do too much. And Lucky Tiger, I guess, deciding to drop his own double Stargate. I don't know. Did he actually scout? Let me see. It looks like... Okay, he's not actually been up onto the high ground yet, so he's just dropping those completely of his own volition. Has a lot of gateways as well. And a little bit of a worker lead, but it's pretty even overall currently. I'd say a slight advantage in Army to Miss Uber X as of right now, because the Void Ray production is ahead of that of Lucky Tiger, but obviously getting +1 in charge on the ground means that even if the Void Rays... I mean, Void Rays take forever to kill Zealots. It's really a very long,
I didn't realize
arduous process.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So-
Didn't realize that's the case.
With +1, it's going to be... I mean, the Void Rays will clean up eventually, but will they be able to clean up before every probe is dead is going to be the big question here for me. Although, obviously, I think if Miss Uber X can take the fight on Lucky Tiger's side of the map, then it'll go pretty heavily in their advantage.
So pay attention to the fleet beacon by Lucky Tiger. I think if he makes carriers eventually, right, this Void Ray
Right.
advantage, I don't know if she's gonna know how to focus fire the carrier.
That's very true. Void Rays, in theory, pretty good against carriers, but only if you're target firing, and at this level, we might just not see that. And actually, we do see some Zealots coming out for Lucky Tiger. There's a pretty good battery of Stalkers on the ground, so they might be able to tank for a little while. But those are... Oh, and he's actually...
Oh.
I'm very impressed. Lucky Tiger has had his units across the map once when right as Charge finished up.
Mhm.
And this time, his Zealots are hitting right as +1 finishes up as well.
Yeah.
So he's actually doing a really good job of hitting his timings, which is impressive to see. I don't know if it's intentional, but I'd imagine it has to be, seeing it twice in a row in one game. That's pretty cool to see at this level that he's focusing that heavily
here's
on
the big
actually
attack.
utilizing his upgrades. But now, the move command attack coming in. Oh no, and they're targeting a cannon instead of the Void Rays. So I think Lucky Tiger will be able to hold here. Neither of them using Overcharge or Prismatic Alignment on their Void Rays. Does clean up all the Voids. There are some Stalkers in the natural, and those Zealots are just chilling outside in the third of the Super X, not doing anything quite yet.
He's bringing him
Oh,
home.
coming home now. Run home, little doggy. And, I mean, the
that's an
Stalkers are
F2,
going to
man.
trade decently just because Prismatic Alignment isn't being used, and the Stalkers and Miss Uber X getting kind of choked up there. We do see one carrier coming out, although I'm not sure how much that'll do. I think once the Zealots clear out the ground, the carrier will probably be able to deal with the Void Rays as long as they're not focus firing.
Yep.
So it will be a hold, but taking quite a bit of worker damage. And I mean, behind this, Miss Uber X is just banking up money, making 3 more Void Rays at a time. So I wonder if seeing the carrier will prompt her to go for carriers as well, because a lot of times you kind of see that at this level. Although actually, the trickle of interceptors is causing Lucky Tiger to just lose them before they can kill the Voiders. We'll finally be able to clean it up, but does lose quite a bit. The resources lost pretty even, though, overall, just from that initial fight with the 6 charge lots very early on. He obviously traded quite well there, so it's kind of evened out. And upgrades out of Lucky Tiger as well. He's definitely hitting all the boxes of things to make yourself improve. Where he's getting his upgrades and he's hitting his timings and like focusing on improving a lot. So it's cool to see that he's not just kind of playing however and just kind of making units and throwing them and stuff like that. He's playing very intentionally, which is cool to see. We'll see if this carrier can clean up the Void Rays. It has a few more interceptors now, but I think it might lose anyways. But then we'll see those Zealots, I think, are just going to go on an absolute tear in the base. As long as they don't stand under the Void Rays, that is. There we go. Now they're moving in. Those 3 Stalkers won't be able to last too long, although he's target firing a little wonkily. There we go. Clean up the Stalkers now. We'll see how many probes go down here. Lucky Tiger's revenge, as it were.
Revenge, exactly.
And,
much needed.
oh, and some of the Void Rays aren't fighting. They're just fighting the 1 interceptor at a time.
I'm telling you, she doesn't know about the focus fire yet.
Yeah. Well, luckily with only 1 carrier, the 6 Void Rays are able to beat 1 interceptor at a time, so that's good. We'll take. Hey, she actually did target fire right there, so that's cool to see. Improving already in the middle of the game. 20 probes they're going down. Luckily, it does have a bit of a bank, so we'll be able to recoup those losses, and is taking a 3rd base, albeit I think it's misplaced, just from looking at the mini-map. But
Slightly.
Yeah, just a little bit. That won't affect things too heavily.
Indeed.
And a decent army, though, for Mrs. Uber X. I mean, if she can find the E key to overcharge those Void Rays, I think she could beat the army of Lucky Tiger right now, but without, I'm not sure. Obviously, against Stalkers and Carriers in particular, the ability to prismatic alignment your Void Rays is very key to win fights, because that's just such a massive damage modifier for those armored units. You see a proxy gateway coming out, so we're seeing Carrier Stalker versus Void Ray Stalker. I think Carriers is probably the better choice just because it's a little bit easier to micro, but if we do see micro of like target firing out of Mrs. Uber X, might still be able to win here. Although not really rebuilding those probes yet. They're at 14 and they've been that way since the attack. Has not built a single one. There we go. Firing up 1 probe at the 3rd base, but I mean the natural's just kind of chilling. There we go. 2nd probe. All right, starting to rebuild now.
So I'd like to say something about the difference too between these two, right? You highlighted it earlier. Lucky Tiger is upgrading. Look, he's also got his +1 air coming. So
that's very true, actually. Yeah, getting the +1 air now is going to be pretty impactful for those carriers. Obviously, every interceptor has 2 attacks, so +1 is provides 16 bonuses overall for each carrier with 8 interceptors and 2 attacks apiece, which is a big deal. So I think if we don't see +1 out of like the upgrades out of Mrs. Uber X, we might see her start to fall behind. Obviously the worker count really kind of hurting, but could recoup that since she does have the extra nexus. It has to start making those units soon. And very aggressive play. A lot of times at the lower levels as well, you'll see people just kind of chill on their 1 or 2 bases for like 20 minutes until they max out and then slowly push out and then, you know, just kind of creep across the map and finally fight. But we've actually seen, I think, 2 attacks out of Lucky Tiger and 1 out of Mrs. Uber X, which is a lot of back and forth.
Dark Templar, man. I don't know. I don't know if she knows about this.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, I would say she could make an Oracle, but I'm not sure that she is aware of how to do that, how to detect with oracles. So I think this might just be the game. And I mean, honestly, in my opinion, if you're a Protoss player and you're in silver, you need to just make DTs and you'll probably get the platinum. Oh no, she's attacking their own nexus.
She's trying to target the invisible units and probably clicked on the. She's like, how do I click on those things?
Oh no, yeah, I mean, it's possible since she is like brand new that this is the first time she's played against DTs ever.
The first. The origin
played against DTs ever.
The first. The origins of the DT hate.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been here at some point. I think it was Day 9 talking about, you know, you get on Warcraft and you're happy to play some games, and then somebody tower rushes you, and you're like, well, this game is the worst thing ever. Oh, and actually splitting up to the 3rd base as well. And I think, yeah, I think this will just be... I mean, albeit it may be a very long, slow, and painful death if he has to eliminate all the structures, but I think this will just be game at this point. There's only 1 probe left and now 0, so there's not even a way to really build detection except for oracles, and I mean, 1 oracle with all these different DTs would take forever to clean them up.
So lesson number 2 for her from Cyan anyway, and could definitely tell her in, you know, before game 2 starts is you're gonna have to make a robo and an observer. Or put cannons.
Yeah, cannons. I mean, Lucky Tiger does have a lot of cannons, so I guess trying to counteract that play himself. But we do see GG, and game 1 will go Lucky Tiger. Very well done.
Lucky Tiger.
There you go. Lesson in Protoss and dealing against, playing against Protoss. The first time, when was the first time you got hit by a DT? That's really the ancient PTSD, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not sure, but it still gives me shivers whenever I see him running into my bases. I've lost so many games where I knew that they were going for a DT drop in PvZ, but I just, my lair was like 5 seconds too late, so I lose my third base anyways. They are a very, very unforgiving unit to play against. And also to play with. Yeah, very rage-inducing. It's
Well, wait till she gets cannon rushed. Then she'll
Oh,
hate
yeah.
Protoss.
yeah, no kidding. Luckily, although we did see cannons in that game, it was not aggressively, just defensively. So sparing her sanity a little bit is
Yeah, you can see her getting coached right there on the video.
Yep. I don't know what's being said, but I can bet it's something along the lines of detection.
And she's like, "What is that? What's Robo?"
Yeah, what's
Like,
a
what-
robo? An observer? I thought those were the people casting us. Well, that was a very diverse game. We had out of Lucky Tiger carriers, stalkers, charge lots, upgrades, DTs. We hit just about everything Protoss can do in that game. So looking forward to game number 2. Lucky Tiger, I'd say, looking a little bit more planned, but some actually pretty solid macro out of Mrs. Uber X, though. So definitely could still win. And we'll have to see what happens. As it's going to be Light Shade. Obviously, the map's not quite as important to talk about in these sorts of series as they are in the higher level ones, but they still do play a part. Obviously, this one does not have a natural ramp like the previous game on Oxide, so that might play into defense and offense here, even for them.
A little bit closer too, right?
Yeah, and it's a slightly closer rush distance as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that as we're waiting for our players to get readied up. Oh, and there we go. Perfect. All right, so game number 2. And yeah, I'm interested to see. I do wonder if we'll just see the exact same builds. I'd imagine. I kind of hope we will, because I think at this level especially, it's best to just kind of have a basic start and just focus on that, and not really worry about multiple different builds and things like that.
Correct.
So hopefully we'll see that
Well,
same
guys,
start out of both players.
welcome. This is game 2 of
FSL Season 4.
All right, and in the bottom right, trying to come back, it is.
This is Uber XL.
And in the upper left, he's up 1-0. Will he be able to close it out? It is.
Lucky Tiger.
And already I'm seeing something I like out of Mrs. Uber XL as well, is they're queuing up probes on their Nexus. A lot of lower level players feel like they need to play like the pros, where they're like only make one probe at a time, never have multiple queued, and then they wind up just like having half the probes they could have. So I like kind of embracing it, like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to check my Nexus that much, so I'm just going to queue up my units. I think that's really good. I think, especially at this level, seeing people embrace their imperfections is really good.
Oh, that's a
And
great
actually
way of
helps you
putting it.
improve more in the long run.
Yeah, and she also queued her pylon. She did 3 of them at a time, in a row. So.
Yeah, that's very true as well. We have that double gateway, so it does look very similar start, although there's a probe coming across for Lucky Tiger. So speaking of getting cannon rush for the first time, I mean, how unfortunate would it be for I think this is her second series of the tournament, in your first tournament ever, like a month after you start playing, you get DT'd and then cannon rushed. Welcome to StarCraft, I guess, and it looks like we will be seeing that. Oh no.
Oh, he's gonna test her. She's like, I don't know if you know this, but let me try. But you know the
Not it.
yeah.
Oh no. Well, and this is one of the reasons why walling your ramp can be kind of important in PvP, obviously. It's harder for them to sneak units up here and get these cannons. I think once she starts building cannons, they likely will be spotted, but whether or not she even notices them or thinks to...
Well, let's take a look from her point of view. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
to her
I'm
point of view
watching-
right now.
Watching that POV, we see a third gateway trying to come down, sees the
Oh,
probe,
no.
but has not yet seen the cannons.
Yeah, in the last game she made zealots right away. This time she doesn't, so that's the unfortunate thing. You know, if she had made it, it's possible.
Uh-oh. I mean, she sees them, but does she know what they are is the other question.
Oh no!
She's just trying to build another pylon, and oh no. Already, this is looking so bad for Mrs. Uber XL. Does have Cybercore, but making zealots. I mean, if she made some stalkers and a couple batteries, obviously she does have enough money to drop like 4 or 5 batteries. She could probably still hold at this point, but just zealots with no shield battery, obviously that's a pretty high level thing to demand out of players at this level. But just zealots, I don't know that that's going to be able to cut it.
Yeah, even putting like stalkers on hold to prevent the advance of cannons, I don't know if she'll know how to do that. No.
Yeah, exactly. So this is not looking too good. I mean, Lucky Tiger, he does have a pylon below the Nexus as well now, so we're going to see cannons come up there. Does target one cannon with both zealots, so that's good, you know, focusing your fire. I think Lucky Tiger...
It's expanding.
Oh, he's doing it now. He's dropping a cannon behind the mineral line.
That's the important one.
Yeah, if that cannon gets up, that is game. Just be able to deny mining for forever. Oh, and making yet another cannon. I think we can kind of see what happens a lot. I mean, all the way up to like even Masters and GM is a lot of people, once they get off their game plan, they really start struggling a lot more. I mean, we see 1,400 minerals floating for Miss Uber XL, but Lucky Tiger not really floating much money at all because he's still doing his plan. He still knows what he's looking for, what he's trying to do. I think we'll get this cannon barely cleaned up.
That's a big deal.
Trade. That's not something you see every day.
Yeah.
A zealot and a cannon actually trading on each other. That's interesting. I wasn't aware that could even really happen with a
Yeah, I've
melee
never
unit.
seen that. I don't think I've seen that, but
Yeah, Stargate coming out. I mean, that is a good choice. Not quite mining enough gas quite yet. Obviously, a little bit thrown off, a little bit flustered. Still making sure they're not supply blocked, though, so they are keeping that basic up at least, which is good to see.
I think she's gonna be
Stacking themselves
surviving,
a little bit.
man. She'll
Yeah.
kill these.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if that cannon had gotten up, it might have been lights out, but does manage to kill the probe, although another probe now coming in, but running up to the zealots. Oh, actually luring them into the cannons. Oh, no. I feel like we should just see Lucky Tiger. Oh, and a shield battery, but I feel like we should
Okay.
just see him push, the front like this, rather than trying to sneak him into the back.
Yep. He's learning how to cannon rush in this game.
Evolving
right now.
before our very eyes. I thought he was a Protoss, but apparently he's a Zerg. I think he might have just walled himself out from moving forward,
He
though, so
did.
he won't be able to add more cannons. Oh, well. I mean, it's a contain, though. And contains are actually kind of hard to break with Void Rays if you don't have shield batteries, which I'm not sure Mrs. Uber X knows what that is, which is fair, but still the case. And so Immortals are usually a little bit better to break out, even
It's
if
a
you
lot of
don't
money,
have
man.
batteries, just with the punch they have. It is a lot of money. Could make, a whole lot of shield batteries. Oh, but now they're getting pulled in with the shield battery. And it looks like we're going to see a total party kill. Lucky Tiger clean up the entire army of Mrs. Uber X. That Stargate unused so far. And one of the gateways now getting targeted down by a cannon. Very nice cannon skin, by the way, on Lucky Tiger. I like that. Little like wings almost they've got. Looks pretty sick. Which matches him because he is a sick man for doing this to poor Mrs. Uber XL. Has a second base up already. And just macroing up. Meanwhile, Mrs. Uber X is stuck in a very small corner of the map. And oh no, they keep getting aggroed onto the cannons and dying. Ooh. Yeah, this is just looking worse and worse. We do have one Void Ray coming out. Gas production is finally up fully. Saturated just about. Missing one probe, but, not too bad. If we see like 2 or 3 Void Rays stacked up, but now remembering on the last game, neither of them were able to prismatic
Yeah, the
align
prismatic
their
is
Void Rays,
key.
which is very, very important for being able to kill cannons. So I think think we're just going to see Lucky Tiger just slowly build up to like 100 supply and then kill the, like 40 supply of Mrs. Uber XL here. And yeah, going in, I think this Void Ray would win this 1v1, but I'm not sure if it'll be able to. Oh no, it targeted him! No, the Stargate! I think the Void Ray would have won that in fairness, but then it accidentally A-clicked her own Stargate. Maybe this next one will be able to clean it up, though. Continually producing Void Rays. And I actually do like how she didn't drop, 3 Stargates or something like that. Only dropped 1, which is about as much as you can produce off of with this much gas income. So that's good. Not overspending her money on infrastructure she can't use.
So here's the thing. If she knows to go behind and kill the pylon, that's the easy way of getting out of this. It's a puzzle.
That's true.
With
Is
the
it a
Void Ray.
puzzle that's going to be solved, though? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's like a level 3 puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. You solve that puzzle, I think you get Gold League pretty much instantly.
Yep.
But I'm not sure we're going to see that. It's stacking up the Void Rays now. Not going to fight one at a time, which is good. Oh, but I think, do we have a Void Ray of Lucky Tigers on the other side of the map? What's fighting what? Oh, no. 2 Void Rays! I mean, one of them does have damage shields, so technically Mrs. Uber X could probably kill them. Will she react in time? Moving over now. Oh, but he's going to fly over to the
smart to go to the
cannons.
cannons.
Oh no, and they're flying right over all 5 cannons, and yeah, I mean, Lucky Tiger looks like he will close it out
Yeah.
in a nasty series.
Yeah. Well, he's playing the way you play Protoss, right? That's how you do it.
That's very true.
So let's go
It's
interview
Yeah.
the Protosses now that she's learned what Protoss is all about.
Oh, yoy.
Welcome to Protoss world.
It's a lot easier playing my daughter.
Oh,
Well, she's Zerg, so they have.
She's mad at me now.
She hasn't figured out the Zerg cheeses just yet. But
Yeah. There's
Wait,
nothing
what's that?
quite like getting DT'd and then cannon rushed. I can tell you that much. Well, Lucky Tiger, I actually thought we might see cannons in the first game, but they were just defensive. What prompted you to go offensive in the second game with your cannons?
yeah, what made you go cannons? Because the first time you did your usual "let me be safe" cannons.
oh me?
Yes,
Oh me?
Yes,
Oh.
cannon man.
She shocked me the first game when she rolled in with the Void Rays on my first base, and I was like, oh, she caught me way out of place. I was like, I gotta get rid of her fast now. So that second game, I gotta
You
go.
were scared. You were like, "Let me just see if she can handle a cannon run."
Y'all didn't see my face when she did that. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, well, I'm lucky I survived that first one. I was like, oh, I'm gone, and then just
Oh, then I was curious. So I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I was praising you for it. So in game 1, your first Zealot attack hit right after charge, and then your second Zealot attack before she rolled in with 8 Void Rays into your base was going to hit right as +1 was finishing up. Was that intentional, or was that just kind of a happen kind of timing?
oh, for them to come back and kill the stalkers? Or
Well, they got across the map. I think you were going to attack, but then she wound up attacking you first. But
Yes.
right as +1 was going to finish up. Is that the timing you were aiming for?
Oh, I mean, yes, I was just speed them up, and then either way I go +1 usually, and hit them up. That's usually a safe combination for me.
But
Usually,
it lined up the timing basically.
yeah. So it helped. It just helped.
Yeah, it did very well.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
I want to ask
And,
something to Miss Uber XL. What was the conversation like after the first game when you got killed by these things that you can't see? Like what? Tell us how that conversation went.
Well,
I'm
the
sorry.
invisible stuff. I was sitting over here like, what the hell's this? What is going on over here? And Stuart was like, yeah, I told you earlier to put that thing out that tells you
Wait,
where
he said
stuff
that?
is or whatever.
He said, "I told you." He's in trouble.
No, that was after the game.
Okay.
That was after I was. But then the second game, I was like, what is this? Why is there these bomb things right here? What is going on?
He wasn't going after any of the little guys, and it was just like, oh.
So far over my, like,
Your head, yeah.
I don't know anything about this yet. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
I was like, I don't know.
Cyan has homework to kind of show you those two things, and then you'll be fine. After you get those, you'll deal with other next level stuff. So, but I just want to commend you. You had a really good first game, right? Your build, you were ahead in many ways, actually. Second game, obviously, there's not much you can do there. But you're looking pretty good for someone that just started playing 2 weeks ago. So.
Thank you.
And congrats, Lucky Tiger, and taking this first one. Obviously, you don't want to lose to a brand new person. You put a season under your belt. So it's, you were supposed
I
to
don't know
win.
what to say. Yeah, like with that first game, that's why I went DT. I was like, I know she don't got nothing for this yet. Let me just hurry up and get this one out of there before she gets more void rays out.
Yep. All right. Well,
Thanks.
that was fantastic. So, thanks, guys. We'll see you in your next match. And good luck with practice.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So, ET, our next stuff is 2v2.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
KJ,
Yes.
I'm actually having some technical difficulties, so I'm gonna have to restart my computer real quick.
Yeah, I didn't catch you. Say that you're having technical difficulties.
I'm having technical
So,
difficulties.
sorry,
with
ET Phone Home
camera.
would be glad to cast it. So, it's 2v2's
Uh,
fun.
I mean, I'll be right back. But if the players come into this lobby, can you actually tell them to finish the V2s?
Okay. Yeah, we can do.
Alright guys, so let's hang tight. Let's go see what's going on. The casual production, casual league. We're not on point with everything. We don't have a multitude of admins. Let's double check our players for the 2v2. It's going to be, by the way, that 2v2, let's take a look at the lineup. It's Little Boys. Let's talk about this first while we wait, right? Little Boys versus Menzel. So these guys, let's see if we can bring him on. Bring in Menzel. Bring him in. Menzel, how you doing? Get your camera on. We'll chat with you real quick.
Hey,
So this is Menzel, our Terran, resident Terran. Did you talk to Sir Malagant? Oh, there he
not
is.
yet. I haven't
There
seen
he
him.
is. He's on. So let's bring him up. You'll be facing against Little Boys. So
Yeah.
let's bring the whole crew up. I think you know people that watch FSL, you're very familiar with everyone here. ET Phone Home follows us a bit too, so I'm sure he knows some of these players. So feel free to ask him any questions on this while I load up the necessary people.
Right. So I guess just practice regimens would be my first question. If you all had a chance to play 2v2s together recently and get some practice in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's for me. I guess for me and Mizel, right? We
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
practiced that much. We haven't practiced really. I think the last game we played was our last series, so we haven't practiced ever after that. So hopefully we'll do okay on this one.
Yeah, get your cam on for us, Malagant, so we can take a look
All
at
right,
you.
hang
and
on. Let me.
in your hacks.
Yeah, let's. Let me make sure I don't share my screen so my hacking code won't be revealed. Hey, what's up? Hey, Little
Alright.
Reaper!
The youngest.
Yes, the youngest. Man, I think they have some build in store for us. We'll see. You have
Mhm,
to scout
mhm.
really good, Mizel.
Yep.
Just-
We'll do Zerg and Protoss, right?
Yes.
All right, so we got the players, all four of them here now. You got any interesting questions for them, ET Phone Home, maybe for the Little Boys, which are the little guys here?
Yeah. So Little Reaper and Dark Menace, how you guys feeling going into this? Are you feeling pretty confident you'll be able to beat these old chumps, or how you feeling?
I mean, not really sure. Depends on how well we do our builds and how well we perform.
Awesome. All right. Now, I guess I can't ask you too much about what you're planning on doing because that would be a little bit unfair.
Yeah. They're
But,
double Protosses, by the way. So Dark Menace is usually a Zerg. He's gonna be Protoss
Oh,
for the
okay.
for the rule that we have for MMR rules, so they fit in, right? Because you can't be a. And then Malagant did the same thing. He's playing off race as Terran,
Ah, okay.
so it's double
Nice.
Terran, double Protoss.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Terran's my weakest, so probably I don't know, bronze player.
So Little Reaper, I want to ask you, what do you think about the match? What are you thinking? What are you expecting?
I
Oh no, it's echoing.
Yeah, I think we need to get him a
Feedback.
better mic, so hopefully he wins some prize money, so we can get him better mics.
Be gentle, Little
Yep.
Reaper.
All right, so I think let's double check here. I think Regret and Very Cool may be casting this. Are you guys ready to do this? Regret, Very Cool. If not, no problem. We can take care of this. We just want to make sure you're 100% ready.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're all set. Actually, Sir Maligant is on StarCraft. I actually didn't see you on StarCraft.
And Very Cool, you're on.
Okay,
Let's
sorry.
do a mic check with you because we really can't.
I'm here.
Hey. What's up, Very Cool?
Okay, there you go. So, previous champion, Very Cool, is on. So, Very Cool and Regret, the Protoss Zerg, going to be commenting double Protoss versus double Terran. So, myself and ET Phone Home will listen and enjoy the games. So, we'll let you guys take it away.
All right.
Alright, cool. Thanks, KJ.
So Mizel, I
Um,
think we're dropping off to where? Lobby 1, lobby 2.
Lobby 1, let's go.
Alright, so do you know who's facing each other?
Yes, so we're gonna have the little boys, which is Dark Menace and Little Reaper. First is DLS Mazel and Sir Maligant, also known as Benzel.
Alright, and what races are they playing?
Okay, well, it's actually a 2 Protoss versus 2 Terran.
Alright, so we have Dark Menace and Little Reaper and Protoss, and DLS Mizel and Sir Melican playing Terran.
Right, so I'm expecting you to know a lot about Terran since you're a Protoss player. Actually, wait, that doesn't make sense. But yes, look, I think our players are ready, so we can start the game. So the first map is actually on Nightscape. What do you think about Nightscape? I think it's pretty. Looks
yeah,
nice.
I can't go too much in depth as I don't play 2v2 very often,
Alright.
but it's fairly open map.
Right. Okay, well, for anybody just tuning in, you are watching
FSL Season 4.
whenever we have a pair or more casting FSL games, there's always a fight, like a straight out brawl in the beginning of the game as to who is introducing the players first. So what'll it be for you?
I can introduce the Terrans.
Alright, so we can start on the top right then.
So, in the top right, playing with the green SCVs is DLS Mizel and Sir Maligan with the red SCVs. Okay.
Sir Maligan.
Alright.
Okay. So, in the top right with the green SCVs, this is
Sir Maligan.
and in the other corner of the top right, playing with the red SCVs.
DLS Mizel.
Alright. And for our Protosses, on the other side of the map, we have the blue one. The blue Protoss, but who goes by the name of... And then, on the bottom left, the other blue Protoss, who goes by the name of...
Little Reaper.
And, as a whole, they go by the name of...
Little Boy.
Alright. Those introductions are scary, man. You don't want to mess those up.
Yep. I
Oh,
think
for
he did
sure.
a perfect job.
Oh, absolutely.
So Little Reaper going for 2 gates before his core. That means he'll probably have a much later Nexus, considering that most builders have a Nexus before core. But
And
just a little
the
bit
fact
extra
that
safety.
the fact that Dark Menace isn't doing that probably means he's about to expand, right?
Yep. He's taking 2 early gases, which is somewhat surprising.
Interesting. So it's a tech play then.
Yeah, maybe. He just wants an early Stargate as soon as the...
Oh, actually, there's pylon. It's the map.
Oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
proxy Stargate.
Oh, for sure. Oh, okay. Like
Yep.
this play.
Okay. So this should be Void Rays,
As well as a
it's weird
Twilight
template.
Council from Little Reaper.
At Twilight. Maybe we'll come
Yeah.
in with some Blink Stalkers to help,
Or
or some Charge
think,
File then.
as E.T. Punhome said earlier in his previous cast.
Invisible Men.
Yes, also that, but he said that Charge is one of the. I think it's along the lines of Charge is like the upgrade that requires the least amount of micro from the most amount of value, right? So I'd say Charge is a pretty good bet here for Little Reaper. But if you look at the Terrans who are about to be defending this proxy Stargate from Dark Menace, we can see that DLS Mazel already teching up to Starport with a reactor for his barracks, making Marines.
And another thing I'd like to point out is that Sir Maligan already has an engineering bay, which means that he can make missile turrets. So if there
missile
are
turrets are crazy.
If there are invisible men, then he should have detection.
Yeah, it doesn't look like invisible men, but actually, Sir Maligan has floated his production structures into the gold base of the Protosses and made 2 Reapers, but is now realizing that you can't actually cliff jump on that.
So,
so those Reapers are stuck there.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're delaying the gold base for.
Yeah, Of course they are.
Yeah,
right?
obviously intended.
Of course. But then that also makes it so that the siege tank that Sir Maligan is producing currently will not be able to see the high ground. But actually, right now there is a Void Ray that is trying to harass DLS Mazel. But DLS Mazel has a hefty counter marine, so it will get
He
this
should
back.
be fine. I don't see much being picked off. Maybe that supply depot, considering it's close to edge. But other than that,
Right.
I don't think it'll do much.
Well, there's actually another Void Ray in the natural where there is a Widow Mine. No!
Oh no!
No, the Void
No,
Ray
it's
moved
not
the
being
man
microed.
into the Widow Mine.
Yeah, that is super dead.
Kills off a Marine, and that's all he gets.
That singular
But
marine. is
actually, the
zero.
Void Ray kills the supply depot on the top, starts harassing
Yep.
Marines.
And
and-
9 SP. That's something.
Yeah, this is I would say this is a pretty successful attack so far from Dark Menace. Kills
Losing
5
that one Void Ray
SCVs.
really hurt. Oh
6?
no! This Void Ray.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it's
Yep.
fine.
Now the Void Rays. Actually, it gets away.
Yep.
But okay, DLS Mazel going for a drop with a medevac, trying to see if he can find some sort of Stargate cheese. But now Sir Maligan's making the
he should have
best of his
pylon here.
situation. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, yep. So DLS Mazel picks this pylon for Dark Menace.
the Oracle
that he cannot
doesn't get
produce
out.
with Oracle.
That's
Right,
a big
just
deal.
barely, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, but Sir Maligan actually has a medevac dropping into the main bases of the Protoss with a Widow Mine, a Siege Tank, and 2 Reapers. So let's see if this harass is equally successful. It is not
no.
anymore. This is
The medevac
all of the
is
units.
completely full.
Right. So I'd say overall, in terms of early game harassment, Protoss take the lead on this one.
Yeah.
But we'll see how the
especially
rest
if
of the
they
game
put a
goes.
medevac.
Right. The medevac is important.
Now, something I like to point out is that for the Terrans, it's very easy to take the gold base, as they don't have to destroy the debris. Though they're
Oh,
not
you're
actually.
right. Yeah, Sir
Alright,
Maligan knows
Yeah,
a
'cause
lot
they
about
just
the
float
gold
over
base.
it. They can just float over.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe if they get a robo out, the Protosses can actually just warp across the
Yeah,
ledge,
use the
maybe.
warp prism.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Big brain strat time. Okay. So Maligan continuing to siege, but
It looks like the Protosses
it
are
might
going for attack.
right. It looks like the Protosses are going to attack. There's actually charge for Little Reaper, so that came true eventually. And we'll see if the Terrans are able to hold this, because I am not seeing a lot at home right now. This
Yeah,
just could, this might just be game.
This might be a base trade situation. All the Marines are.
There was a
are
planetary.
kind of
What the heck? Sir Mulligan made a
just-
planetary that is natural.
What the? Okay.
I'm having flashbacks of AXD.
Yeah. Alright, the repair is.
Alright.
being
Little
alive for a
Reaper
while.
fighting the planetary. Dark Menace going straight for the main. There is a Widow Mine, a Raven, but not much else. And meanwhile, on the other end of the map, Little Reaper just got his Nexus destroyed by DLS Mazel's army of Marines, and those Marines are actually planning to take Nexus down as well. But it is not looking good for the Terrans on their end of the map. Right. Okay. Whoever said 2v2 was a little bit hectic was a little bit of an understatement, to say the least. Yeah.
Speaking
It's,
of hectic, in the bottom right, Sir Maligan has ninja base. So.
Oh man, everything is happening. Okay. Well, DLS Mazel is actually pulling home, and Dark Menace is actually sending reinforcement troops. So there's just everything all across the map, everywhere.
Yeah. Who do you think is favored here?
Favorite here? Well, if we're gonna look at the unit count,
Yeah, I think you gotta say Protoss, right?
I gotta say Protoss, because the supply advantage is just in their favor, like, any way you put it. And they're also in the main base of the Terrans, destroying the production.
Yeah, they're right
and
in
SCPs.
production.
Yeah,
And that
so
is the hurt of the Terran.
I mean, even if the Terrans clean this up, there's not much else to be done afterwards.
Yeah, there's not
'cause
much left.
there's units streaming across the map, and even though Sir Maligan has a very sneaky ninja base, all their production is being destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah. This is looking like a 1-0 for little boys.
It is indeed.
Man.
Alright, we're just
Okay,
waiting
well
for
there are a
this
lot
to
of
happen.
hero plays here. There was a Nexus snipe by the Marines from Mazel. There was a failed attempt at gold base cheeses by Sir Maligan. There was a very valiant Void Ray Hermes by Dark Menace, and Little Reaper's charge bots, of course, were like pretty much the key in winning that game. So there we have it. Little boys take game 1 against Benzel.
Dark Menace.
This is exactly what you want to see in 2v2. Things happening everywhere.
Chaos. Complete night of chaos.
Honestly. Alright, well that's game 1. Looks like the second map will be playing on Roscalia. Now, from the
Does
map,
Valiant have a gold base?
Roscalian does not have a gold base, thankfully for both Sir Maligan and DLS Mazel.
I don't have video.
Actually, it's perfect timing because my camera just decided to stop working. I wonder if we can actually show the map vetoes here. So, actually, if we're looking at the map vetoes, I'm not sure if they're on the screen right now, but on Nightscape, there was a very one of the nicest features about Nightscape is that there's a gold base that's blocked by rocks right near your main, right? So that can be useful for some people, like Terrans, who can float their main bases or their command centers straight onto that expansion. But for Sir Maligans in particular, it was the downfall to his harassment because his Reapers, 2 of them actually, ended up not being able to jump up on that cliff. So
Yeah, that proxy did not turn out as intended.
yeah, we'll have to ask him about that later. But for now, we're gonna be playing on Roscalian. I'm inviting everybody to the game, and on Roscalian actually, there is a ledge in which that you can jump Reapers up onto the main base, and there's also some smoke clouds there, so that you
Do
can't
you
see
think
what's
he'll
happening.
do the same proxy again then?
I think he's a little bit scared. I would say if I was him, I would be a little bit scared to do it because, well, number one, you've already done it, and they might be expecting it.
True.
But number 2, what if it fails again, right?
Yeah.
Just because
And
of something he miscalculated.
It did literally nothing first game. Maybe it just
Right.
didn't do anything again.
I mean, he was there.
Yeah.
He made a turret in the beginning too, so that was pretty good.
Mhm.
Alright, well we're loading up Roscalian now. Looks like most of the players are ready, so we can be starting soon.
Very exciting.
So what kind of Now that that's been said, what kind of adjustments are you expecting from Menzel in this game, the second game?
After the first chaotic game, I'm expecting a little more of a standard game.
A standard game, you think?
Yeah, less proxies and ninja bases, more just macro up to a couple bases, then we'll see some action.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. If you think about all of the mid-game Protoss units and Terran units and stuff, it seems very exciting. And now that's amplified by 2.
Yep.
But anyways, if anyone is wondering, and if you're just tuning in, this is
FSL Season 4.
And as for the introductions, I would like to go first. Can I go first? Very cool. Is that you okay with that?
You are allowed.
Alright. So in the top left, the very, very top left. In the light blue colors, it is the Protoss player by the name of
Little Reaper.
And the other Protoss player, right next to Dark Menace, in the true blue colors, his name is
And in the very bottom right, with the green SCVs, it is
DLS Mizel.
and his neighbor, across from him, playing with the red SCVs, it is
Sir Maligan.
so bunker's coming down, or barracks coming down.
just a reminder. This is the second game in the series between Little Boys and Benzel.
And I must say that was very incorrect. There is a proxy barracks being built by DLS Mizel.
True. As well as a proxy refinery from Sir Maligan's.
Yeah,
on the
just
side of
a
Dark
good old
Menace.
gas block.
Yeah.
If he was going for any early tech builds, then that would be very annoying.
Early tech build, such as a Void Ray proxy.
That is an early tech build.
Right.
He's not going for that though.
Well, he did last game. That's probably why Sir Maligan wanted to do gas steal.
Possibly.
There's the gas steal on Little Reaper as well, so being a little bit annoying, delays the charge, delays the potential void race. So
Yep, I'll go first
overall,
on
I'd say
it.
it's a pretty good adjustment from Benzel.
Indeed. So what do you think will be coming out of these barracks? There are 2 now.
Reapers, yes. Oh, it's the Reaper ledge I was talking about.
Oh.
Actually, at the exact same time.
Oh, but Dark Menace.
Dark Menace just misses the Reapers.
Nah, he plays it.
Oh.
He knew exactly
Okay.
what was going on.
Dark Menace, literally omnipotence. Anyways, this Reaper coming into the main base, not getting any probes yet, 0 kills, and the probes are being
They should do
pulled.
damage though. There aren't any units yet.
Right, but
A Stalker is about to
Okay.
pop out, but for now.
right. 1 kill. I feel like if Mizel micro this Reaper properly,
we should have gotten 3 with perfect.
3, right. Because 2 of them are actually low health, but that is not the end. More Reapers are on the way, including a tech lab factory and a starport.
I
So
would love to see a shield battery come down right now. Because once there's enough Reapers, they can just jump right into the Stalkers and they'll die.
right,
Really.
and one shot the stalkers practically.
Practically.
Okay, and at the same time, Sir Maligan has his own Reaper and is taking a natural expansion.
Oh, Stargate coming down as a proxy. All 3 buildings are proxied right now. The factory barracks and starport.
This is actually exactly what Sir Maligan did last time, except DLS Mazel is copying it.
Yep.
Okay, well the Stalkers guarding this ledge very well. No shield battery needed yet. And he also blocks off the rest of it.
Do you
But
think
actually...
he'll make a tank.
A tank?
Oh no, he's going for Widow Mines.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, and he's making an armory. Alright, so this is a cloaked Widow Mines build.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
What do they do? They have a Robo.
Who has a Robo? No,
They
they don't have a Robo. Okay.
They don't have a
That
Robo
might,
or
yeah, this
tank.
might be bad for little boys, especially seeing how low these Reapers are.
Yeah,
or
this
these
is looking
probes are for
very
Dark
bad.
Menace. And Mazel making use of the second Reaper ledge directly to the south to get into the main base, kill a couple probes, get out.
Yep.
And albeit with 1 SEV, but the probe kills are very, very good.
these Widow Mines should do a lot of damage, unless they're shot down like immediately. If the Stalker's the right position, it can kill the medevac.
Correct. Okay, so we have 2 Widow Mines and a couple bio units from Mizel. And it looks like Dark Menace is expecting something, but he does not know what.
Does he have the... Yeah, he has the Stalkers in position, but I don't know if that's enough to snipe the medevac.
Yeah,
This is
and
looking
once those
dangerous.
Widow Mines get down, he basically can't destroy them. But actually, good thing he's making a Robo. It's finishing right now, so as long as Mizel goes immediately, he should be okay.
Yeah, I think DLS Mizel kind of missed his timing. Those...
I would agree.
Those mines were out for quite a bit. But...
Right. Even if it's just 2, I think that those 2 mines would have been worth it. So there's actually 2 medevacs flying in. One is a decoy, but the other one is loaded with cloaked Widow Mines that all burrow.
He's not pulling
Every
workers. He's trying to
single
split
one.
them.
Right.
How
That
many
is
very
is
worth
bad.
it,
So
my
this
God.
one is 2, this one is 1, this one is 1.
Ah, he lost the medevac.
So, I mean, it's not very successful in the beginning, but this observer is only halfway out, and these mines are starting to recharge.
Mine drops, the key about them is, like, yes, killing pros is very important, but you must keep the medevac alive. Losing the medevac makes the mine drop not worth it. And although maybe you killed like 5 or 6 workers, losing the medevac, I don't think that was very worth it.
Okay. Thank you for the insight. Is there actually any other medevacs on the map? Or is that his only one? Oh, he had
I
2 and
believe
he lost them both!
Oh, he lost 2.
No!
Ah, that's...
Oh no. That's yeah, I don't think this was very successful at all, actually.
However,
There's a Thor.
Little Reaper is not taking his natural. Wait, there's a Thor?
Yeah, there's a Thor from that factory tech level.
Oh, this...
Okay, it's also stuck, but because he also doesn't have it's also stuck. But Dark Menace is actually also attacking across the map, where Sir Maligant is ready and waiting with Widow Mines, Liberos bunkers, and a siege tank.
Yeah,
I
don't
Little
think this will do
Reaper.
much.
I think Little Reaper really needs to get into this game right now. His main is oversaturated. He doesn't have any tech to speak of.
He does not indeed. That...
Yeah.
I think, DLS Mizel needs to make a medevac for that Thor. Oh, he's gonna...
Right. He
That's
could have saved
clever.
one of his 2 medevacs that he flew into the main.
Yeah, that would have been very nice.
Yeah. Could have sniped a couple of probes, and Thors are very good units, so maybe if he brought a mule or something, that Thor could have lived for a very long time, killing
Oh,
probes.
there's a fusion core coming down for Sir Maligan.
Oh, is there now? Cattle bruisers, I love those things. But also, another thing that we're seeing is... Does Dark Menace have Blink? No, I think. No, he doesn't. So he's actually just gonna ferry these stalkers up via Warp Prism. And they're gonna get up here and do some real damage in the main where there are no units anywhere.
He has nothing.
Okay.
Are there any units home for either of them? It is not seem.
Well, he does, but they're all in the fronts.
Yeah, there are 2 Marauders and like a tank and a lib.
Honestly,
Units
though,
aren't exactly the best.
I think the story of this series is that the Terran's proxy cheeses failed and the Protoss one succeeded.
that does seem to be the trend.
Yes.
Oh, he is shutting down these stalkers, but he's losing so many workers.
Yeah. So, if we take a look at the units lost tab, which is L, if you're wondering, we can look at. Yeah. So, even though Dark Menace has lost so much, both the Terrans have actually lost a lot of workers. So, as long as Little Reaper comes through big with tech, the little boy should be okay. I would really like to see an expansion here from Little Reaper, which is exactly what's happening.
Wow.
It's almost as if he heard me. Wouldn't be the first time.
The stalkers are just now finally being shut down. That's painful.
Oh, just a little bit. The Thors come back home getting repairs. If you take a look at the worker count, right? So Dark Menace has almost 40, Little Reaper has 30. Whereas the Terrans have 40 and 25 respectively.
DLS Mizel is actually ahead of the Protoss in workers. Normally you see Protoss up by like around 6 workers. And Terrans have mules that make up for that.
Right.
So DLS Mizel, he's a powerhouse right now. He's mining much more than everyone else.
Oh, truly. Despite almost losing all of those production structures across the map, he has a full army and has full economy. So, actually, despite what I was saying about those Terran cheeses, DLS
seems to
Mazel
be
is
that
looking really
Terran's
good. Right. And actually, looking at this this army that's heading out for the Terrans, I'm not sure that the Protosses will be able to stop them
Yeah,
because
this is like the ultimate Stalker shredding army.
right,
got
because look
Marauders
at all
here.
of those Marauders.
And they're
Oh,
soon at
no.
+1.
Okay,
Plus
well,
one
we'll see
one.
how this attack goes. It looks like they want to attack on this Reaper ledge over here, utilizing the siege tanks, but unfortunately,
Alright,
yeah,
so
Mazel will
we're gonna
actually have
drop.
to lift up here.
And
Okay,
they're probably
cool.
gonna siege the siege tanks at the bottom.
Siege?
Yep.
Okay, nice.
There
I would
you
see
go.
the I'd like to see the Liberator in play here too.
There it goes.
Okay,
Oh, that
Stalkers
was-
engage, get absolutely
That was
ripped
not a very good
to
play.
Reds, and Dark Menace keeps making Stalkers. Like, the only thing that Protosses have here are Stalkers, and the Stalkers are gonna lose against this either way.
Though
This is-
we do have to admit that a lot of workers or a lot of units are still down at the bottom. They're not contributing to the fight for the Terrans.
Right, well, they are being ferried across, but actually
now
Dark
they are.
Menace has an Immortal now, and also a Robotics Bay.
Siege tanks are actually surprisingly good against mortals though, because they
Right.
completely outrange them. And yep, there it goes.
Oh, and there's the Robo Bay down.
I think we'll be seeing a GG soon.
I would agree. So this has actually just gotten completely flipped by Benzel, and Benzel take game 2, which means that very cool. We're going to game 3.
Really, we are going to
That wasn't bad at all by Benzel. I really like the way they adjusted. So there was a gas steal by Sir Malignant. It was pretty nice. And also DLS Mazel committing to those that 3 production structure proxy.
Yep.
It turned out, despite losing a lot of units, including 2 medevacs and almost a Thor, it worked out well in the end, I guess.
Yeah, he macroed out of it very well, despite his proxy not doing very much.
Right. So kudos to DLS Mazel, and let's see kind of adjustment Little Boys will be making. But
Yep.
of course, this is game 3, so whoever
think
wins
we'll-
this.
Alright, go.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go.
Alright, do you think we'll finally get a standard game?
The standard game with these 2 teams? Are you joking? These 2 teams
I
have been
guess I am.
insane with their cheeses so far, so I don't see any reason to stop. But
True. Though to
Yeah.
be fair, most proxies haven't done exactly what they're intended to do.
right. So game 3, we're gonna be looking at Polka, which is a very it's a very tight map, right? There are a lot
There
of
are a lot of walls, a lot of like mineral walls that you have
There's
to
just
mine out with your
Yeah,
workers.
there's just a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so we're getting into the lobby now. We're gonna be inviting all of the players. Now that we've seen both sides of the spectrum here, what would you like coming out of both of these teams in this game?
Honestly, I think DLS's Mazel's macro has been very solid. He
Right.
just had much more than both the Protoss teams. So I think
Mm.
if the Terrans play standard, it looked very good from last game. So that's what I like to see. As for
I
Protoss,
as well.
as for the Protoss, like early timing attacks, before they have stim, like a good amount of units, just attack with charge lots. I think that might work.
Charge lots are very good units.
Indeed.
Things that are also very good units are Immortal, or not Immortal. Well, Immortals are too, but especially those Marauders in that last game, they were the hero.
They were indeed. And those 2 siege tanks at the bottom. It was shredded
Right.
the stalkers as soon as Dark Menace blinked in.
Right. So actually, I think they swapped roles here because in that last game, DLS Mazel was playing a little bit more of the aggressive instead of Sir Malignant, and Sir Malignant was playing the defensive side. So we'll see what happens in this game. It's also important to note that I believe Freedom is camera number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. Actually, maybe it might be 6, but okay. It looks like we're ready to start the game. So we're gonna load into Polka here on game 3 of Little Boys versus Benzel. Alright, this is exciting. I don't usually get to see game 3s and 2v2 matches.
Exactly. This is surprisingly not one-sided match.
Alright, these 2 teams are very evenly matched cheeses and macro. But more on that later, as this is
FSL Season 4.
Right, it's number 6. Okay, I'll start on the Protoss system again. So, in the top left, in the light blue colors, we have the Protoss player, Dark Menace.
Dark Menace.
And his neighbor, the bluer Protoss. He goes by the name of
Little Reaper.
And together, they form
Little Void.
In the
Alright.
bottom right, spawning with the red SCVs, it is
Sir Maligan.
and his neighbor, spawning with the green SCVs, it is
DLS Nizel.
and together they form Benzel.
Alright, cool. So, here's the first thing I'm noticing. The only thing that has gone through the middle of the map so far, I mean, we are only 1 minute and 14 seconds into the game, but there's just one SCV across the map, no probes, no other SCVs, so...
Honestly, somewhat surprising considering how crazy the past few games have been. There have been constant proxies, and surprised there aren't more scouting to try to counter those proxies.
Right, well, there's your scout. We'll see... Actually, we won't see another gas steal by Sir Maligan, at least for Dark Menace, because Dark Menace has already immediately taken his 2 gases.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably expected the gas steal, and that's why he took the
That's
gases
true.
somewhere earlier. He does get it off Little Reaper though, which is always nice.
But judging from Little Reaper's, what is this, a double gateway already? Doesn't look like he's planning to go for any tech soon,
Yep,
right?
just a little bit of safety. I think he likes
And
this
then
one.
Dark Menace takes a nice expansion, as well as both the Terrans, so...
Maybe we actually are gonna get
it might be a little
or
bit
less
too
than
early to say, but it looks like a necrogang.
It does indeed. Alright, factory's coming down. 1 Reaper Scout's coming out for Sir Maligan.
Actually, the Sir Maligan, if you look on the Protoss' side of the map, catches this pro by the way. Look on the Protoss' side of the map, actually, Sir Maligan just used his first orbital energy to scan Dark Menace. And it wasn't even centered either, so... I don't know how I feel about that, especially considering they've already scouted this
It
Nexus.
does feel like a waste of a mule,
Right, but...
considering that the tech hasn't come down yet.
Hopefully-
We're seeing a robo bay,
Alright, I like Robo
Or
Bays and
facility.
Make Immortals.
a robo facility.
Oh yeah, that's what they're called. I cannot believe you missed that very cool Protoss Master.
I'm very sorry.
You would be.
Supply depot coming out in Delos Mizel's spot. He places it up there just so he can see warp prisms a bit easier.
And also we can micro it without hitting anything else.
Sure.
We're also seeing a Twilight Council coming down for Dark Menace. So, along with that rowboat, it sounds like it'll be something very interesting, very aggressive maybe.
A very early armory coming out for Delos Mizel. Do you think Cloaked Widow Mines are to play again?
I actually don't think so, because there's a Cyclone coming out first, and if it was a Cloak Widowmine play, I feel like there would have already been Widowmines out by this time.
Yeah, that
Reaper for Sir Maligan, snagging 2 kills, actually, doing a lot of damage. 2 Adepts coming out for Little Reaper. Oh, that's a 3rd probe for that
this
Reaper. Right, especially
This
with a
Reaper is the hero.
especially with a Protoss that's making a Twilight and a Robo.
Yep.
So that's gonna be a little bit annoying, but nothing Dark Menace cannot deal with.
Not too
A
bad,
couple of
but
Stalkers
very
actually
close.
went across the map to harass the main entrance of the Terrans, but were instantly destroyed. So it looks like looks like losses for Dark Menace all around, and
I
in the
think
first
Delos
4
Mizel-
minutes and 20 seconds of this game, I think the Terrans are ahead by just a little bit.
Yeah. By the way, Delos Mizel is playing mech. More specifically, I think he's going for battle mech. He's going for Cyclones and getting the mech upgrades.
Right, and if there's anything good against Stalkers besides Siege Tanks and Marauders and Thors, whatnot, right, it's gonna be Cyclones. Okay, so we see...
When Blink is out for the Stalkers, Cyclones aren't actually that good, because you can Blink right on top of them. And Cyclones, they're not very good units. They're only good because they can kite. So Blink
Right.
Stalkers are actually the counter to them.
Okay, well, actually, in the middle of the map, there's a couple of adepts heading over for Little Reaper, as well as a double Cyclone drop for DLS and Cell.
Not normally you see in dropship, that's for sure.
True. Because normally what you see in dropships for DLS Mazel so far in the series are either bio, Widow Mines, or literally nothing.
Indeed.
Reaper going down eventually, getting all the scouting information, but DLS is running into here. The natural with 2 Cyclones, so let's see what damage it does.
There aren't actually many probes here, so...
Right, so... Don't know if that's a blessing or a curse for Little Reaper, but Dark Menace's Stalkers, all 8 of them, I think, are not helping out yet, so... Maybe he's expecting something on the other side, but nothing is coming. Let's see, let's take a look at the work count. So... Both Terrans hovering around 40 SCVs, whereas Dark Menace has 40 only, and Little Reaper has a measly 27 probes.
Once again, it seems like DLS Mazel his macro just seems to be superior. With Chronopus, you're supposed to have more probes than the Terran has SCVs, so...
Oh, this Medevac is in trouble with 2 Cyclones. Are we gonna see a repeat of Sir Maligan's Medevacs?
Nope.
No, we
He
aren't.
has boost.
Okay, so I can probably safely say that that wraps up the early game for this game 3.
You know what they say about Dark Shrines, Isaac?
Oh, I sure do. I don't know if there's a lot of things people say a lot of things about Dark Shrines. They can vary
the most
from
famous one is
most
one
famous
behind.
ones?
Go Dark Shrine, and I can safely say that Protosses are behind right now.
right, and that's why. Yeah, that's why the Dark Shrine drop makes sense. But actually, it looks like the Terrans are very, very ready for this Dark Shrine attack.
Yep. It's
Okay.
mostly just Stalkers here. Stalkers don't fare too well against.
I mean, if they have Blink, then maybe they can get straight into the natural here. That might be bad for Sir Maligan, but the defense is looking pretty solid. And also looks like there's a planetary about to be made in this command center right here.
Oh,
Okay, here's the Blink.
okay.
Marines are getting destroyed. Cyclones, one goes down. And
I
I'm
you don't
looking
have
at-
enough.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking around the entire base of the Terrans, and there's no more units. There's just no more.
Yep. His
There's
harassment.
no way it
rate-
ends like this, right?
He just made Stalkers and blinked in, and Stalkers are very good against Cyclones, so there's not much they can do.
We said Stalkers could be countered easily. I have no idea what you're talking about. Very cool. These Stalkers are doing so much work, killing SCVs left and right. Take a look at the units lost tab. The total units lost is reaching up to 30s for the Terrans. Now there are a couple of siege tanks out, but I'm not sure what they can do against these Stalkers that are going to blink right on top of them.
Indeed, they're just getting shot before they can even siege.
There are Stalkers everywhere, along with Little Reaper's units, destroying SCVs, Sir Maligan's natural. Liberators and siege tanks and Thors and Hellions and whatnot are being queued out, but Stalkers are everywhere, and the damage has been done.
Yep, I think this game is over. I don't think they can ever defend against this. Yep.
Yep, then there's the GG, and it looks like Little Boys have taken the series against Benzel. What a series it was.
Yeah, it
Right.
looks like the Terrans were getting ahead there. but
Seriously,
we were not
every time we
careful.
say that someone is behind, they just go and win the game.
Indeed.
Dark.
Alright, well, I'd like to chat with our players after that one. We could get them up into the lobby.
Did a push attack. If we had tanks, Siguro, I think we should be fine. Damn it.
Oh, hello,
Yeah.
hello.
I should have made more tanks. Hey! What's up?
Hey.
Hello, Little Boys and Benzel. That was a very good series from the both of you. And congratulations to our winners, Little Boys, for taking the whole thing. Actually, I'd like to ask Benzel a couple of questions, especially in that first game. So what exactly was your plan going into that game of Nightscape?
Who are you?
Okay.
Benzel, I was
you
asking.
can
Benzel.
answer it.
Okay. Go ahead, Giselle.
Oh yeah, so the first plan was Sir Maligan will be harassing them while I'm macro. So yeah, that's for
Yeah,
game
then
one. But
I failed miserably with my harassment.
So this is actually one of those rare times that the map really plays a huge part in what happens in the game because in that gold base, I saw those two Reapers could not jump onto the ledge. So
Yes, that was my.
yeah, that was
You
yeah, that
gotta
was
be kidding me.
that was unfortunate.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
You
no, that
can
was a
tell
pretty
he
good.
didn't practice it. He just like, let me try this.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, let's try floating barracks there and see if we can jump some Reapers. And bam, the Reapers were like, we can't.
Too high. Yeah.
But
Okay,
actually, you guys pulled through in the second game because I noticed that you guys switched places. So Sir Maligan was doing a little bit of defense, and DLS Mazel had a very nice harass with those Widow Mines and Thors and bad effects. So did you try to adapt to what Little Boys were doing in that second game?
Actually,
And
Sir Maligan did the what do you call it? The gas steal for both of them. So I was confident that they won't have Void Grave soon. So yeah, went for harassment.
Yeah, that turned out good, actually.
And that was very nice macro from the both of you. So I think that was very key to winning that second game. But in the third game, Little Boys, you guys were very behind. You were losing probes, and you were your tech was a little bit behind as well. What was going through your heads before you started to attack?
Well, I think for every game, our builds kind of got thrown off. Mostly Little Reapers, but in the second game, it really threw off my build, and we were planning on doing timing attacks, but they always got messed up because of their cheeses.
Right, right. So those actually, speaking of those builds, Dark Menace, I know that you play a lot of Zerg, but seeing as you don't play it, Protoss in FSL very often, how much have you practiced these builds for your Protoss?
Not too much. I just play occasional 2v2s with Little Reaper. We try to practice the build, but we always somehow end up messing up them.
Alright, well, looks like it pulled through in this one with your aggressive pushes, cheeses, made it very hard to cast since everybody was everywhere across the map all the time. But it was very exciting to watch, and thank you for playing, and congratulations to Little Boys.
Yeah, good game, guys.
GG's.
GG's indeed.
All right, guys. Thanks for casting Regret and Very Cool. We'll see you guys on the next one. Now we'll hand back to ET Phone Home for our Code S matchup. He'll be casting this. This will be very exciting. And let's load up the players up here. And let's bring up. I see Dark. Oh, I see Dark. Neutrophil is here, and let's get.
Yeah, I'm grabbing her.
Instability. I don't see her just yet. Double check.
She's very new to all this.
Sure. So while you get that all set up, I'm gonna go see if I can show the map vetoes. If that's happening, hopefully that's already happened. If not, that's okay. Let's go see if that's already been happening. I see they did finish the map vetoes, so nice. So we can show the map choices, the map vetoes and selection. That really. And while you're setting up and helping her get on Discord and all that,
there she is.
Lightshade for game 1, Jagannatha for game 2, and for the decider match, if necessary, it's Oxide. So you'll be casting this on your own. I'll be observing as usual.
Awesome. All right, and it looks like she is in lobby 1, by the way.
Great. Let me bring her up so we can chat with her while we add her to the game also. Here she is. On now. Turn off my camera. Let's
Still
talk
muted.
to them.
I live muted.
Hey, there you go. Welcome, welcome.
Do you have a cam at all so we can show you and say hello to the viewers? And I think she's on the game now too. There you go. There's Instability, a rookie in our FSL league, but not a rookie in the game, right? I see she has a very impressive diamond level rating, right? Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And I believe you started about a year ago, right?
Yeah, it was like season 3 of last year.
Very, very nice. And what made you pick Protoss, by the way? Because ET phone home here is not Protoss. Is it just to go against?
I actually wanted to be a Zerg like him, but
Mm-hmm.
he said I should play Protoss because Zerg was nerfed and it was underpowered.
There you go.
I think specifically, I didn't even directly influence her. It was my parents were like, ET says Zerg is terrible. You should play Protoss. So,
there you go. And so what you guys say and your biases will go affect things for the rest of their playing career. They started with a certain race. That's how they they think. So that's funny. All right. So you're Protoss. You know the power of Protoss. You're enjoying that. What do you know about Mr. Neutrophil here, who has been on FSL? Have you been scouting the VODs at least? Because he's been playing in FSL since the beginning of the tournament or the league.
I actually didn't look at older videos because I figured like
Absolutely.
my play style has changed a ton
Oh, yeah.
since like when I first started. So I just watched like the latest one against the Zerg. Probably wasn't a good choice.
I'm really
though.
impressed. I'm really impressed. These are very mature, very very well thought out answers, right? She's already talking about, oh, the meta is different, my style is different, things are different. It's old. You can't, and you know what? There's another good point. Neutrophil is actually playing random, so that changes things quite a bit. So his main is Protoss, but he's gonna be random on this one. I have a question for Neutrophil. What are you expecting in this game? This is a rookie, but obviously in the code esp for a good reason. What are you expecting?
Well, she sees I'm random. I'm expecting her to play really safe because she knows I probably have some sort of cheese up my sleeve. But I'm really not expecting much. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, good. No expectations. Hey, ET phone home. Any further questions?
no, I'm ready to see this. I'm excited.
Alright. Yeah, you're gonna see it. You're gonna commentate it. I'm sure you can have plenty of chats after the games. Good luck to both of you. I'm excited to watch this as well. And let's get going. We're gonna server deafen and mute them. Turn off our cameras. And take it away.
Like the stalkers of old, I fall back to the shadows to cast this game. And it's going to be Lightshade LE to start off. A map we've already seen once, but a very, very standard map, so good pick. Very standard, very open, macro-focused, although we did hear from Neutrophil perhaps a slight hearkening towards his strategies, some cheeses perhaps coming in the near future. As we are getting ready to load in. And boy, oh boy, am I excited. Not just to be able to cast this awesome tournament, but being able to cast my sister in this awesome tournament. It's going to be pretty cool. Neutrophil, obviously, though, a very strong player, so this is going to be a good back and forth. Anyways, everyone, welcome. This is...
FSL Season 4.
All right. In the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is
Instability.
And in the upper left, in the red, it is
Neutrophil.
And oh man, it's a PvP. Obviously, I spoke to Instability a little bit in the start, and the consensus was basically, I'm just going to hope he doesn't get Protoss. So not getting the kind of RNG she was looking for right off the bat. Low ground walling, which obviously isn't ideal against Protoss, but at this level, it's survivable. Going for that Gateway Scout. We'll see the probe in the middle, but will she see the probe in the middle? Obviously, those little grass, very even timings, but the little grass does make it kind of hard to see that Scout because they only see each other for a moment. Still, we'll get the Scout, and if she comes up to the main base ramp, continuing her production on her probes, comes in, sees nothing in the natural, going up into that main base. Neutrophil scouting as well. Nothing super aggressive out of him yet. It is going to be the double gateway setup, though, against just the single gate, which is fine. We love to see it. Scouts around in the main base. Mind racing, no doubt. Neutrophil's filling up his gases. Is this going for the Nexus? Now, I don't know how this build's going to stack up. Obviously, there's a whole new meta recently with going for the 1-gate expand in PvP, but it generally involves probe blocks on the Nexi and having to build a Zealot, and your Nexus winds up being fairly late comparatively to what it would be in PvZ anyways, but actually getting it down right on time, Neutrophil not going for the block. I feel like we'll really need to see an immediate Stargate, but I don't know how much Instability has really practiced this scenario in the past. Does get that second pylon? Is that a third pylon? Third pylon because she pylon blocked the Nat. Okay. I was going to say, out of 31, but I only see one pylon. All right. So, does block the Nat, but 2 Stalkers coming out. We'll be able to get the Scout off on these Stalkers, though that pylon does indicate an interest, at least, in expanding. And we're going to need to see a Stargate in the near future. Generally is somewhat needed, at least, to hold against most aggressions that are coming out of 2 gateways against only 1. Coming up into the main base is getting ready to drop that tech, it looks like. Maybe? Nope, not quite yet. Meanwhile, for Neutrophil, it's just double Stalker into Nexus, dropping a Shield Battery. She's actually playing pretty safe, which is interesting. I feel like a Shield Battery is a very conservative play out of him. Obviously not very familiar, and by not very familiar, I mean not familiar at all with Instability's, habits as a player. Seeing as how this is her first televised match. So there's not a whole lot for him to work off of, so I do like the conservative plays. Looks like he's maybe just doing a Adept wall, which is interesting, because there's no Adepts on the map, but, may as well be safe. Slight worker lead does go to Instability initially. 2 Stalkers out. Actually opting for Robo and Forge, so going to get those upgrades. Stargate on the way for Neutrophil, perhaps for an Oracle, perhaps for a Void Ray. Obviously, in PvP, it's very volatile. 1 Oracle can easily kill 8 to 9 probes, but it looks like it is going to be a Void Ray. Void Rays... Oh, sorry. He's throwing me off. A little bit of indecision from our former champion. Our current champion, reigning champion. Anyways, going for Phoenix now. Perhaps thinking it's a Stargate, which is intelligent, because most of the time they do go Stargate off 1-gate expand, but of course Instability playing against a random doesn't really play 1-gate expand against Protoss, so doesn't know the typical meta, so perhaps playing into her favor a little bit. Double Phoenix coming out, so a bit more than just an Oracle shutdown, it looks like. Additional gateways coming down for both players, and +1 attack on the way. And a sharp third base. Holy moly, 4 minutes 20. Doesn't manage to block the Scout on it, though, which is important. So we might just see an all-out assault. A very cool last season. Okay, my bad. Former champion. Anyways, very much so kind of a parity in the supplies, though. Both kind of keeping up with each other on the macro. Upgrade advantage, though, coming down for Instability, but it is Phoenix off of 1 Stargate, which is a little atypical. Oftentimes you'll see that if they're going for, like, Disruptors, but typically if you're seeing them not against Disruptors, you see double Stargate, but still probably will be able to get a good bit of damage done with 4 Phoenixes, as long as they can catch Instability out of position with their Stalkers, of which she only has 5. Thought it was fewer than that. 5, that's actually a pretty good amount. Warping in more Stalkers. That third base advantage, though, does mean that as long as he doesn't just all-out attack her, she can afford to lose a few probes and she'll still be even or even ahead on the economy. As she is finishing up her third base. Charge on the way for Neutrophil. Resaturating her main base. Gotta get that probe production back up, but dealing with the Phoenix, so a little bit preoccupied at the moment. That's alright. And those 4 Phoenix getting a good amount of damage, a good amount of value. And there we go. A couple more lifts as well, as we do see 7 probes going down in total, so slight probe advantage there. I think if Instability had kept probing through that, she'd still be ahead and will be able to catch up, I think, just because of the third base being finished beforehand. And we see on that production tab, +1 armor coming in for Instability as well. No Twilight yet, which is a little bit unusual in PvP. Perhaps forgetting it. Would like to see Blink or Charge, one or the other at least, out of Instability. Not seen it quite yet, but perhaps in the near future. We'll have a large upgrade advantage. We'll be almost 2 upgrades ahead at this point. And adding in some shield batteries at her bases, getting probed up. Even supplies pretty much out of both players. Instability slightly behind, but with that one upgrade, with another one on the way, does pretty much even out the supply counts. And that battery of Immortals is going to be very strong. Obviously, if the Phoenix can lift them, that'll be huge. But Phoenixes can get targeted down by +1 Stalkers pretty quickly. I like the cannons and the mineral lines to protect. Neutrophil does come in both sides. One side with some adepts that do get pushed back by the cannon. The Phoenix coming in. They will be eventually repelled by the cannon, but with some good micro, does manage to snipe a couple more probes anyway. So 3 going down, and every little bit of economic damage matters here for Neutrophil, as he's eking out a slight worker lead. Obviously nothing terribly significant quite yet. We see a lot of gas out of Instability, finally getting that Twilight Council down, but it is a bit late. Hopefully, for her at least, the Neutrophil does not hit until she's able to get Charge or Blink out onto the field. As the units filing in to the main base to try and push it back. It would perhaps be good to just leave half your Stalkers at your third and half in your main base, but obviously a little bit worried about, obviously the scouting here isn't peak, so don't want to get caught out with half your army at the third by his whole army. Of course, we are seeing a slight economic and military lead going to Neutrophil at this point. Still behind in upgrades, though. We do see +2 and Blink on the way out of Instability and a lot of Immortals, so that is a decent advantage for Instability still. Sending out a Phoenix Scout, very good to see. These players have some pretty good scouting habits, even at, mid-diamond. I guess Neutrophil is about low masters now with Protoss specifically. And actually, funnily enough, we're seeing... I think you only need 2 shots normally to kill with Phoenixes, but because of that +1 armor, it's requiring 3. So +1 armor already coming in clutch here for Instability. Is dropping down in supply, though. Needs some more gateways, I think. Yeah, only 6 up. Would like to see at least 2 more, maybe even a good 4 more to bring it all the way up to 10. Dark Shrine on the way for Neutrophil, but there's cannons in each mineral line and a Robo out with an Observer already finished, so I won't see all too much out of that. 6 out of 3, anticipating that the Phoenixes would be able to kill some of those probes, so making sure that there's still going to be optimal saturation there. 5D chest coming out of Instability right now. Slowly catching up on the supply, down only 20 instead of 30 now, and warping in some charge lots in that Warp Prism. That's very cool to see this kind of multi-pronged play coming out, even at this level of play from these players. Very well done all around. So we do see +2 attack finishing up. Neutrophil, I think, slightly slow on that. Yeah, we don't see any upgrades coming out for Neutrophil after that +1 armor, so it's still going to be a +2 advantage for Instability, which with those Immortals, it's going to be kind of massive. Perhaps getting a scout off on those DTs, whether or not you recognize the DT sound and the little shimmer is another question, but perhaps it does know that tech is out now. Making another observer, so I'm going to guess possibly yes. Meanwhile, back on Instability side of the map, just warping in lots of Zealots. Needs that charge, though. Charge. There we go. Right on time. A little bit oversaturated, but taking a 4th base, and we're seeing really snappy base timings out of both of these players, which is cool to see. Could perhaps even start transitioning some workers over there now, make a cannon or 2 there. Floating a good bit of money, needs to hit those production cycles. Maybe get some Archons out. Would be good for Instability. Neutrophil coming across, though, with a pretty hefty supply advantage. And charge not done for Instability quite yet. Getting that Templar Archives finally. We'll have the Defender's advantage and is warping in some more units with the +2 attack is finished up, which is a very big advantage in PvP. Not to be underestimated, so I'd say a pretty even fight overall. The Archons might tip it in favor of Neutrophil. Scouting in, though, and we'll be able to push straight up the ramp. Ooh, this is going to hurt. Instability moving out. Gets caught out of position. We'll be able to depower a couple gateways right off the bat. And counterattacking, it looks like, across the map with DT tech out, though, for Neutrophil. May or may not turn out to be a good choice. Will Charge be able to finish up? That'll be kind of important for fights later on into this. And the base trade is going down. 4th base does fall for Neutrophil. Is going to recall, but only about half his army. I'm not sure this can beat the +2/+1 on Instability, maybe with a battery overcharge. Oh, but those Immortals, man, such a strong battery of Immortals, and the battery overcharge does come down. I think Neutrophil will be able to clean out Instability's army here. Very good attempt, though. Main base is going down, some Zealots counterattacking, and a good attempt out of Instability. Not able to clutch it out, it looks like. Maybe, yeah, that upgrade advantage was nice, but getting caught out of position like that really does hurt. And of course, getting your opponent's strongest race when they're playing random is a little bit painful. First game, and GG is called. All right. Well, GG indeed. Very well played by both players. Neutrophil, 205 APM to 128 of invincibility. Both players flying, and we see just a slight advantage eking out there for Neutrophil.
A bit unlucky there, getting the Protoss, huh?
Yeah, unlucky for one and lucky for the other, I guess you could say. And, well, I think she won't be too upset about that, as long as, you know, next game isn't a PvP as well.
Yeah, as long as
Obviously,
it's
that
not
might start to get a little
Protoss or-
tilting or something.
Exactly.
But honestly, very impressed with how well she held on. Obviously, that's going to be his strongest race by a good bit, and she was going toe-to-toe for the first half of the game, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say, too, that her upgrades were really good, right? So that would have been a big difference if she had a better fight. But, you know, she was caught out of position. And so...
we can see her coach giving her some professional advice. He obviously, I think he floats around bronze too, so going to be able to probably give her some good advice on how to pull this back. All right, so it looks like we're just about ready. It's going to be Jagannatha for game number 2. As the players both getting readied up. That was a good game 1 indeed. Really enjoyable, very well done out of both players. Definitely showing their strength in those matches. As we hop into Jagannatha. And this is...
FSL Season 4.
Alright, how will the dice fall? It says PVZ. Oh boy. Alright, we're not getting 2 PvPs right off the bat at least. Alright, well, let's hop right in. Up in the upper right, she's looking to come back. The purple Protoss player, it is...
Instability.
And in the bottom left, in the red, he's up 1-0.
Neutrophil.
Double extractor tricking. I would not be surprised to see some cheese out of Neutrophil, but it looks like he is actually going to go ahead and expand. Obviously, random players at the GM level, at least, a lot of times are it's basically, am I going to play their main race and play a macro game, or am I going to play their off races and get cheese? So looks like it's not going to be the case this time, although perhaps still faking an expansion and then taking a pretty quick pull behind that. So a cheeky little play, not just a straight up 12 pull, but a little tricky trick. We do see a gate scout out of instability, so as long as she doesn't just scout the hatchery, we'll see that very early pull and should be suspicious at the very least, especially with that gas coming up behind it. Although obviously this may still not be a cheese. There's some weirdos that like to open like this and then play macro, me and end of line, and so who knows? But at this point, I'd say probably Lings. Although did just build 3 drones, which means he's probably not going to have larva up in time to build Zerglings right away. So maybe it is just a little bit of a macro build. Queen on the way, more drones. Yeah, awesome. And instability, not phased at all, except maybe a little bit, but probably maybe not. Who knows? Does still get her build done correctly. So we'll see. Will she opt for a Stargate against Zerg, or will it be Twilight? Maybe a little cheeky DT drop. Not that I'd know. I don't know what strategies she plays. Guys, I'm the same as you. First televised match. Have no insider knowledge. As we do see no mining out of the second gas. There we go. Gets filled up. I think she actually did go pylon before second gas, or second pylon that before second gas. A slight mess up, but, you know, it can be forgiven. It was a little bit of a weird scout she had to do with that interesting opening build out of Neutrophil. So, Stalker coming out. Warp Gate as well, and a Twilight. So it looks like it may indeed be some DTs. Oh, Stalker is out now. Sees the Overlord, but going to stay in the wall off for the moment. Will she be able to keep focused is really the big thing here. Is his instability going to be able to stay focused, or is she going to get all in before she can even get her build out? I will say DT build is actually decently strong against Bane Bus, which we are seeing a Baneley Nest coming out for Neutrophil, because you get a Stalker with it, and it takes so it takes like 6 Banelings, I think, to kill an Adept. It takes about 80 times that to kill a Stalker, so it's somewhere in the realm of like 480 Banelings to kill a Stalker. So getting a Stalker out with the DT build is actually pretty good against the Bane Bust if he does decide to go for that with his Baneling Nest. Full wall is done, although the Stalker's not in the wall off now, which hurts a little bit. DT Shrine is on the way. Robo nearly done, and a lot of lings being made. Probably, if she can get that Stalker in the wall off, may survive, but if the Banelings just bust right through, then who knows? Lings coming across the map. Would have liked to see the Adept go out to scout, but obviously at this level, a lot of times you're just kind of trying to make sure you don't mess up your build. And we do see 7 Banelings coming in. We'll be able to bust down that wall. Sorry, 9 Banelings. That's definitely enough to bust down the wall. The Stalker continuing to patrol against the Overlord, which means no Stalker in the wall. DT Shrine will be finished up sometime soon, but the Banelings do bust through. Will she be able to keep her mineral lines alive against this all-in cheese? I'm not sure she'll be able to. The DT Shrine is still a ways off. Oh, and the probes are clumping with the Banelings coming in on them. Oh no, will she be able to split? Ooh, okay. Oh no. 23 workers going down. The DT Shrine is done. She's not making any DTs. Oh, and a painful, painful loss it looks like it's going to be for poor instability here. I mean, unless somehow 2 DTs can win it. I mean, he isn't making detection, so there is that. You know, if they can clean up all these Zerglings by themselves and then go across the map. But there comes the Spore Crawlers. Looks like it is going to be GG here. Build actually executed rather well for instability, except for that poor Stalker not being in the wall off there. Might have made all the difference. Very well played out of Neutrophil. Smart cheese. GG is called. Takes it 2-0. And that's gotta hurt, but congrats to Neutrophil. Very well played that entire series. Very nicely done. Indeed. The main thing is you have to scout with that Adept you make. You have to put the Stalker in the wall off, and you have to send that Adept out. If you see that many Lings, if you even scout the Baneling Nest or a Rotorn, if that's what they're going for, you can scout how many drones there are in the natural mineral line. If there's only a couple, it's likely an all-in at that point. And exactly, yeah. Because it's just so hard. You don't have lair behind it even started, and it's hard to get up your Spore Crawlers in time at every base. And you basically only have Lings. I guess you have Banelings as well, but Lings really don't actually trade very well against DTs. Yeah, if you go for the Bane Bust, you pretty much have to win straight up. I mean, I'm sure she'd have a both witty and mature response, but unfortunately, she was still deafened. So you may need to repeat that. I just got her to undeafen. There we go. I just messaged her, so she should be undeafened now.
Yeah, tell us how you feel and what your thoughts are on your first ever appearance here at FSL Instability.
Well, I'm not really surprised. Honestly, this is, I guess, what everyone expected. But I am a little disappointed because I practiced that DT build for so long and it didn't wind up working.
Did you catch what ET Phone Home was saying about it? It was actually a good choice.
Nah, I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't hear that? Okay.
Yeah, so the DT build is actually pretty strong against the Baneling bus, but unfortunately, just wasn't able to scout on it early enough. If you have the Stalker and the wall off, though, they tank basically every Baneling the Zerg can throw at you. And so there
I was trying to deny scouting, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw the patrolling was just a little bit unfortunate, but I think very well played overall. Nothing to be too upset about in that first series, and obviously, I imagine you'll have time to try out your builds in future series as well.
Agreed. It's only game, your first match. It's a long season, so everyone will adjust. But yeah, it was good watching you, and we'll be rooting for you on your next match. I'm gonna have to check the schedule when that is, and you have plenty of time to prepare because in FSL it's like a week or 2 weeks of preparation, so you'll be good to go. So now let's talk to the winner. You got any questions for our winner here, Neutrophil?
Yeah, so Neutrophil, I imagine you probably felt like that series went pretty smoothly. I was wondering with the Phoenix you made initially, were those made in anticipation of a Stargate, or were you just planning on harassing with them the entire time? Okay, very cool. Yeah, I saw it was like a Void Ray at first, and then wait a second, and swapped to Phoenix. So I was wondering if it was like, I might want to be able to do with an Oracle, but got a lot of value at those Phoenix. I dare say they killed a good 20 or 30 probes just by themselves. So very well microed there, maneuvering around the cannons and everything like that. And you did that whenever you saw her army kind of marching into your natural base or your fourth base. Did you get it all worried there, or were you pretty confident that you had the game at that point?
I wasn't entirely sure. I was ready for a base trade, so that's why I split my army in half for the recall. But yeah, I held pretty well. It's a pretty close game actually.
Yeah, very well held. And then the Bane all-in, I was wondering, was that the plan from the very start, or was there something you scouted that kind of triggered you to decide to go for a Bane all-in?
I'm gonna be honest, that Bane bus is the only thing I know how to do as Zerg, so I'm so sorry for doing it.
Well, that's very fair. As I was saying in the cast, even at the GM level, a lot of times random players are more just 33% of the time you play a macro game against them because it's their main race, and then the rest of the time you get cheesed. And that's all right. Well, I thought you played a very clean series and having some pretty well-prepared builds. Very impressed. How are you feeling going into the rest of the season? Does that kind of revitalize you? I believe you did lose your previous series. Does this kind of get you feeling better and kind of more in the groove for the next series?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot better with my random. I'm definitely going to stick with it. But yeah, I definitely have to learn some more Zerg builds now.
Yeah, but you're on notice now. Everyone knows that was your only build. So now you have to. Unfortunately for Instability, she's the first person. The second person will benefit knowing if they see Zerg. So I think you'll be practicing some other second all-in for Zerg. But it was good watching you guys play. You guys are the future of SC2, right? And nice job.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys, and really enjoyed it. Looking forward to see the rest of your games throughout the series.
All right, that'll do it, everybody, for FSL Day 5. Our next broadcast will be on Wednesday. So we're usually on Wednesdays and Fridays. Really appreciate you hopping on ET Phone Home to help us with your excellent casting as usual.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Yeah, and I know you have some work to do too, coaching. That we're all coaching and helping all the players out. We'll see you guys at least on Wednesday for the next matchups. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good evening.